now call us upon the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Presidential Executive Office of the Russian Federation, Mr. Maksim Oreshkin.
Thank you, President Ramaphosa. The international economic order is definitely in crisis, and it is no longer matching new and emerging realities. This crisis is three-dimensional. The crisis of globalization and openness, the crisis of global economic institutions, and the crisis of economic development models. These days, global economy is facing a severe fragmentation. Advanced economies continue to engage in illegitimate unilateral actions, including sanctions, trade barriers, technological and educational restrictions, as well as seizure of sovereign assets. These methods of unfair competition destabilize the global economic architecture, disrupt supply chains, discourage long-term investments, hold back the global growth, and undermine progress in achieving the sustainable development goals. Today, we are here in Africa, a region that urgently needs strong economic growth to meet the needs of its fast-growing population. We should talk today about access of Africa and the Global South to new technologies, healthcare, education, and most importantly, financing. We're concerned that financial flows to developing countries are simply not enough. Even the official development assistance came to a steep decline in 2024 of 7.1% and is projected to fall further. While Africa is in dire need of capital inflow, total net borrowings by G7 governments, according to the IMF data, will reach almost $3 trillion this year. By the way, it equals to total GDP of the whole African continent. Mounting sovereign debt of several G7 countries pushes them to the verge of fiscal collapse. Artificially inflated financial bubbles may trigger a knockdown to the global economy. If we look at the international financial institutions, they are currently deviating from development finance to military expenditures. Thus, financing goes back to the Western economies, and in many cases through the corruption schemes in Ukraine. The World Bank, for example, has provided Ukraine with more aid in 3 years than to all African countries combined. Moreover, African economies face biased rejections and complicated procedures of funding from the World Bank and the IMF. Definitely, all these institutions should be reformed to benefit the Global South. Dear colleagues, global economy and its growth structure has already changed. BRICS and countries of the Global South now form the dominant driver of global growth. We have the talent, the resources, the technology, and the capacity to drive growth and improve the lives of our people. Unlike in previous decades, the Global South economies are ready this time to move forward with their own platform for economic growth, based on their own solutions. In technology and education, in trade and connectivity, in finance and investments. The rise of this emerging platform of growth becomes more evident with each passing year. The fact that growth in the 21st century will come mainly from the Global South is indisputable. We call the G20 to get back to the fundamentals of sustainable development. It means poverty reduction, social inclusion, and environmental sustainability. This should be based on sound economic development, which includes fighting protectionist and illegitimate unilateral measures, including sanctions, tariffs, technological and educational restrictions. To fulfill this mandate, the G20 should stay a multilateral platform for coordinated action acting in solidarity, equality, and sustainability. Russia is ready to play an important role in this process.